What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. So we're going to be talking about why the Creeper might have scars on him in this film, since a lot of you guys left similar comments on my last video and got a lot of messages from you guys on my social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, talking about why he might have these scars. Not sure if this is the same person. Maybe some of you talked to each other and you just reached out to me. But basically, you guys have theorized that what if the Creeper can be harmed by his own weapons? So that's what I'll talk about in this video. And then, as you see in the thumbnail, the other thing I want to propose is something that someone else brought up to me, which is the Creeper being played by multiple people throughout the film. Since a lot of us are still concerned about whether or not Jonathan Breck will be the Creeper, me, myself, personally, I've gotten to the point where I just now want to see what this thing is going to look like now, since it's 23 years later, which is what we're assuming it's going to be. What is it going to look like now? Who is playing it, if it's a new actor, and how similar will it look to the other incarnations that we've seen throughout the last three films that were played by Jonathan Breck, which we know. So the theory that has been proposed to me regarding this is that since we're going to be presumably picking up 23 years later, the Creeper, as we saw at the end of Jeepers Creepers 2, was relatively smaller, reduced to nothing simply but skin and bones by that point. So when he wakes up, or when it wakes up, who's to say that the Creeper, because it takes time to lose all that, muscle mass, all that weight like that, and just decay and rot away and be left to nothing but that. It takes time to do all that. So it, of course, should take time for you to get all that back. That would then leave the door open to explore his origins a bit more, and that would tie into why we might see multiple actors playing the Creeper, such as a Richard Brake, who I've talked about in the past, has been speculated to be portraying the Creeper in this film because of the fact that the face prosthetics that have been seen behind the scenes, people think that looks like Richard Brake. Richard Brake, as I pointed out, is a lot thinner than Jonathan Breck, so maybe they're going to use a thinner actor to portray the Creeper the first time he wakes up, to go along with how thin he looks at the end of the second film. And then as he's going through the movie, as the film progresses and he's killing people, that's when he'll start gaining his muscle mass, start gaining some of the features that we know he has, some of the features that he probably won't have all the way since he's so much smaller. He'll just look different in a way since he's smaller now, and he's going to have to eat and eat and eat to get back to that strength that he was at, that we saw in the first three films. So then that would leave the door open for Richard Brake, someone who's thinner than Jonathan Breck, to play the Creeper. But again, they could also just not do this, and they could have someone else entirely play the Creeper and not do this idea. That would leave the door open for someone like a thinner person like Richard Brake to play the Creeper. And then down the road in the film, we end up seeing the Creeper fill out more. He gains some of that more definition and tone to his body, and then that's when you're introduced to a character or an actor like a Jonathan Breck back in the makeup once again. That doesn't mean this will be Jonathan Breck, but that's just, again, something that could be explored. We might see the Creeper start off relatively smaller than what we're used to, and he'll start to basically flesh himself out as he's eating these parts, and this will be part of building up his origins, because we haven't seen what this thing looks like actually in a 23-year later sequence when he first gets up, or when it first gets up. He very well could go through a process like this where he has to, or where it has to basically regain that stature that it was at previously by eating its way through the things that it wants to eat from. And that's how it'll get back to looking like a Jonathan Breck. Not to say that Jonathan Breck will be the one in the costume again, but I think that's a very interesting theory. And that would explain why we might have multiple actors if that's the route they're going. Because the other thing that it could be is you don't just have multiple actors that could play the Creeper. Multiple people are in the Creeper makeup in many parts of the films over the course of this franchise, because you have the many stunt doubles that would do the stunt work. You have Jonathan Breck himself, so keep that in mind. We're guaranteed to see many people in this makeup anyway, but maybe there's two different actors portraying it because of the theory that we might see him start off, or see it start out relatively small and then flesh its way out and bulk up as it's eating its victims along the way, getting to the Horror Hound Festival, and then maybe Jonathan Breck will be the final form that we see. So I like that theory that was proposed to me. And then again, getting back to the whole weapons thing, people are stating to me that perhaps the Creeper will have scars on his chest from his encounter with the Taggart boys, particularly Taggart Sr., played by Ray Wise, is because of the fact that the harpoon or the post puncher was in fact led by the Creeper's weapon that Taggart found in his corn or in his crops. So maybe the fact that his own weapon was used against him, and there's some type of witchcraft or something involved with that, some type of powers, clearly, because we see it literally darts out of Taggart's hand in his living room. Maybe there's something going on with his weapons that would tie into him getting hurt. Maybe his own weapons are the only thing that would leave such a scar like that, because like I've already stated, if he has if it has the ability to regenerate parts, there is no real reason this thing should have scars. But maybe when it's damaged by its own weapons that it created and it's used against it, that leaves damage, or that'll leave noticeable scars because it's being injured by something it created. Why that is, that would have to be explored in the film, and then of course that would lead into more of it going into the supernatural routes of the franchise, since there's clearly supernatural stuff going on anyway when something such as this is walking around town. Something like this is walking around town, so it's not a far-fetched scenario that they could explore going into the weapons a bit more. We know the weapons are going to be featured, so maybe we'll find out that if its weapons are used against it, that's some of the ways it can be damaged for a long period of time, and it'll leave visible scars, as we'll see in the film. So I like that idea, and I like that rationale as to why he might have scars on him, because again, I did not really get why he would have scars, but a lot of you proposed that to me, and I like that idea a lot, that maybe his weapons will leave noticeable damage on him. But let me know what you guys think about all this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications so you didn't miss a video. In the description I have links to my social media accounts, my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there, of course. Let me know if there's any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. Down in the comment section I have a link to the Facebook group. Please join this group if you want to stay up to date on anything regarding Jeepers Creepers or just talk horror in general. With all of that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.